Hello, fellow writers. I'm Lewis, that over there is Tolkien, and you have found the Scripturient Society.
Welcome back, everybody. It has been a minute, if not a
It
minute and a
has.
half. It's been a while.
It has.
That over there is
Yeah.
Carissa Harlow, aka Lewis, and I'm Ash O'Rourke, aka Tolkien, and we are both sporting some really cute lipstick today. Mine's not that notable. I just am not used to wearing anything lately. Lipstick, not clothing, that is. That's an everyday thing.
I hope.
And then Carissa is wearing this like cute purple lipstick.
Damn. I feel like we
So,
both look pretty nice. Normally it's like one of us or neither. Now
yeah,
today we're
that's
like
very
both
true.
on point.
We look decent. It's true.
Good for
Nice.
us.
Yeah, wow. Just congratulating ourselves. We can call it. I think the episode's done now. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's all we came to say.
Wanted to let you guys know we're looking good today.
Yeah.
Sure you guys are looking good too. No. It's just been a long time. I'm very tired. I probably said that last time too, but if I sound like a half-wit, it's because like I'm probably more like a quarter wit at best today. Like
Nice.
I'm real sleepy. My mic is like up in my face, and I was like, what to do about it? I can't control that. I'm fully in control of that. That's just how my brain is today. Uh, Anyways, Lewis, how has your month been? Month and a
Whatever
half? I
it's
don't
been.
know.
Yeah. It's been okay. I was super stressed and like weirded out last week, so that was fun, which is partially why it's been a while. Um, I I don't know. I just had an episode, but it was fine. I'm fine.
I get that.
I yeah, I don't know. I was feeling kind of weird, so I texted my cousin and I was like, hey, do you just want to like call and like have a FaceTime sometime soon? She was like, sure. And so we called and talked for like an hour and a half on Saturday. And I was like, I feel so much better. And
That's
my
so
small group,
nice.
yeah, my small group is starting up again. And I saw them for like half an hour last Monday. And I was like, I feel so much better. So I think I was either like, I don't know. I don't usually get weird when I'm alone for too long
Hmm.
and like my parents are around, it's fine. But, occasionally I think I just need I don't even know if it's people or just to do something outside the norm or
Hmm.
whatever. But I
Yeah.
was just kind of feeling down and weird, so it was good to get out of my usual to
You
feel a
hit
little
your
better.
limit
And
for
then
seclusion. You have a very high bar for
I
that.
did. I know, it's crazy. Sometimes I just don't know how to tell that I'm getting there because I get there so rarely.
Yeah.
But then so I still use an iPod Classic. I don't know if I've told anyone that. Like I still use that because I love iPods and I really
Bless
hate
you.
the iPod Touches and they don't make them anymore, which is horrifying. And I discovered this because my iPod Classic broke and it got corrupted or something and it wouldn't attach to my computer. And I literally had an existential crisis. I'm like, what am I without this iPod?
Oh my gosh, that's
And
insane.
it was horrible. So I went on Amazon and I found one. So I have a new iPod Classic. If you would like to see it, I think it's brand new. It's either brand new and it's just been sitting there for years, or it's refurbished and they did an excellent job because it works great. It's all shiny. It came with
Why do
like
I
all
want
the
one now?
extras. They're
I don't
so great.
understand.
I don't
But
understand why Apple stopped making them. Okay, here's the thing. I understand planned obsolescence, okay, where they design stuff to break so you have to buy a new one. And you know what? I don't really care. I want to buy a new one. You just need to make one available for me. Like, why would you get me hooked and then stop making them? That makes no sense from a business standpoint. Either
they're
make
like,
it last
well,
forever,
people's phones do that now.
but I don't want to do it through my phone. I
I
want a
get
separate
that.
device.
Listen, I'm still
So,
using CDs to
yes,
everyone's chagrin, whoever rides in my vehicle.
I was
So,
thinking about that. Like, my dad was telling me, he's like, I think you should think about getting a new car. And I'm like, I'm down for that. I feel like I can, I'm financially able to do that. And it would be nice to not have to worry about it breaking down and stuff. Not that it does, but it's
yeah.
getting to that age where it could start
Hmm.
doing that. But like I have a CD player. This car is a 2003. It has a CD player. It has none of the bells and whistles. There's no backup camera. There's no like
Hmm.
weird stuff. And
Yeah.
I love it. And I don't want the new one.
My car is a 2019, but it does still
Wow.
have a CD player. So they do still
Okay.
have them. They just kind of like hide them so like they're not as
Yeah.
obvious as like it's shameful or something to still listen to CDs.
Ugh, I'm a CD person. I gotta hide that away.
I do it
Oh,
proudly. I proudly
yeah.
listen to my CDs.
Yes.
So
It was so normally this is also weird because I just went on about how I want the CD player. I usually play music on my phone in the
you do.
car
Yeah.
because I just that's like the newer music I have. But the other
Hmm.
day my phone did this weird thing where it stopped like connecting to anything. So like my parents were like, "Where are you? Because we can't track you anymore." And it wouldn't play from my iTunes and it wouldn't let me text anyone. I'm like, "Is a serial killer coming after me?" Like, I don't know.
Ooh,
But
spooky.
I know. But then I got in the car and I was like, okay, I don't know. I don't really want to listen to the radio because the ads annoy me. So I'm like, maybe I have a CD in here. And I did. And it was the coolest feeling to just turn it on and be like, yay, this is it's the Toby Mac CD, The Elements. And I think it's
Oh
from
my God, Toby
2019.
Mac.
Yes, I love him. He's great. That's one of his newer
That's
ones, but
hilarious.
not the newest.
Hmm.
And it's his album that I was like, it's okay, but it's not my favorite. But I've been forced to listen to it, like sort of, because it's the only CD in my car. And now I'm like, okay, these songs are amazing and I love them. So
Yeah.
now I've been
Oh,
listening to
that's
that
funny.
nonstop in the car. So it's been a weird technology time for me. I did the update on my Mac and now Word, like Microsoft Word, is laggy. So that's
Hmm.
horrible too. And I
Hate
don't know
that.
what to do about that. So it's like
Yeah.
I'll highlight something, but it doesn't highlight. And then I don't even know. It's weird. So technology has not been my friend lately, but we're getting back on good terms. So uh that's been
Oh
going
man.
on. Um, aside from that, what is it? It's August. Oh, I watched the Olympics. I guess
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't talked to you guys since then. I
That's
love the
right. The Olympics
Olympics.
happened.
Um, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm super into them. And so I
Yep.
watched nothing else. And I actually kind of think that might have contributed to my like downward spiral because I didn't have any time to do anything else because I was
Oh
so
my
hooked on watching
gosh.
it. And it's actually kind of cool. So my cousin's husband, he is a swim coach at Notre Dame, and he had a swimmer get to go to the Olympics and won a gold in the men's
What?
relay. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, so that was
That's crazy.
pretty cool. So that was fun, and then just all the other Olympic stuff. I love it. So um, I would recommend that, but they're over now, so it doesn't really help anyone for
I
next
didn't watch
next
them.
couple
I
years.
never have, and I just don't
I
have
know.
any interest in it.
I know. It's weird because I don't really like sports, but I like the Olympics. And I
Yeah.
think it's because it's people achieving their dreams. And it's,
Yeah.
like all this hard work for like years, if not decades, that no one else saw. And now I get to see it. And I'm like, I'm not an athlete, but I feel like that's
Yeah.
what I want for me.
It's
So it's really
incredibly
inspiring.
impressive, and it is like
Hmm.
one of the most like ancient traditions of
Yeah.
humanity that is like not really any different than it's ever been. And I,
Yeah.
as a human being, feel that I should have some sort of interest in it, but I
You don't have
just
to.
don't. But it seems
Yeah.
so weird that I just don't, because I feel like it's
Yeah.
something that all humans, even the non-sporty ones, typically can like
Right.
garner some sort of shared interest in. I
Yeah.
just don't seem to care at all. I'm like, that's fascinating. Moving on. Like I
Yeah. Let's watch
just
something else. I did.
like,
So I
how
got
about
to
Gilmore
watch.
Girls for the
Yeah.
30,000th time?
Some show I've seen a million times. Um, I did get to watch fencing and rugby this time around, and
Ooh.
they're so interesting. I don't understand why they don't play more of them.
Hmm.
Rugby is so fast paced that I actually think that if I was gonna be into a sport, that's a sport I'd be into. The games are like so
Interesting.
short and it's so exciting.
Hmm.
Um, so that was fun. And then fencing is just really cool because it's basically sword play and it feels a little bit more like a fantasy book. So
Hmm. That's true. I do
yeah,
find fencing kind of interesting.
yeah.
Not for more
So
than like 5 minutes, though. And that's not even me being cheeky. Like
no,
a
yeah,
5 minute attention span for me to focus on any sort of sport, even football, which I typically do watch football in the fall because I live in Texas.
right.
5 minutes of my attention is like a lot to give without like a break, without
Yeah.
getting distracted.
What about like the archery? Don't you like archery?
I do
Show
like
a little
archery.
archery. I
That's
guess I don't
true.
know. Some sports are kind of like golf, where they're fun to do but not fun to watch. And then
Mhm.
other sports are like rugby, where they're fun to watch, and I don't
Yeah.
know if they're fun to
I
play.
think volleyball is fun to play. I don't find it particularly fun to watch.
Mm.
Archery is fun to watch and to do. Uh, that might be it. I just don't.
That's all you've thought about.
Ice skating can be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
not fun for me to do. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I fall down a lot if I try to even like just wander around an ice rink, let alone speed or figure skate. So,
I have incredibly weak ankles.
yeah.
You cannot ice skate on weak ankles. My
Uh,
ankles just turn like completely flop to the inside, and it's horrible and extremely painful. So,
uh, yeah,
not a
that makes
fan.
sense.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just like doing it every 2 to 4 years, depending on if you're talking summer or winter or both. Um, so next Summer Olympics are going to be in LA. And I don't know how I feel
Gross.
about that. I know because it's like close enough that I could go, which is exciting because I've
You
never been close
could
enough to go. But like, ugh, why would I want to go to LA?
for
You
the
know what I mean?
Olympics, and that is it. Yeah.
I know it's going to be in Utah like 2 times after that. I'm like, maybe I'll just go to that one.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. You should just go to the
Yeah,
Utah one.
I know. So it's so
Mm.
Hollywood, and I'm like already so over it. But
Yeah, that's totally
yeah.
fair. That's funny. Yep,
But
fair.
Paris was great. So that's what I've been doing. Ash, what have you been doing?
Ugh, having like a month and a half long anxiety attack, basically.
Yeah, as you
Um,
do.
as one does.
Mm.
I am doing better now. I have been so incredibly exhausted for 3 days, and I feel like it's maybe just because the last like month and a half has like caught up to me.
Yeah,
I texted Lewis and I
that's
was
me.
like, yes, that's Karissa. And I was like, so I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm not avoiding you. Like, I'm not like, oh, I just don't want to record. I just don't want to tell her. Like,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm sorry, I keep asking, can we postpone recording? But I'm like dying, like
Yeah,
truly dying on the inside. And she was so chill. Every time she was like, of course, no biggie. And I was like, one of these days she's going to take it personally because she's going to think I'm like, who else just for like a whole month and a half is like, no. But that was me.
I don't want to see you. Bye.
And I don't usually like, like if we take a while to get back to each other, like I don't take it personally because you and I are both incredibly introverted people
Hmm.
and we're just like happy in our own worlds. And
Yeah,
like just I don't think either of us have ever taken it personally, but I had, and probably because I've been in a month and a half long anxiety attack, I was like, oh my God, I bet she doesn't think that I want to talk to her or record with her anymore. And then I was like, I'm a horrible friend. And like
no.
was so upset with myself. So I was
Yeah.
texting, I was like, are we
Please,
good?
please don't be mad. Although it is
Yeah.
weird because like I was basically having a rough time at the same time you were. So every time you were like postponing, I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
You can always postpone with me too. I will
I
never take it
know.
personally. I'll be like,
I
oh, I'll be
know.
like, oh, hell yeah, I got an evening back. Not that
It's so
I
much
don't
more convenient
enjoy
when it's you.
recording, but
Yeah.
yeah, that is true. I think like the one time ever you've been like, can we postpone? I was like, heck yeah.
Free night. Woo.
Woohoo. It's just exhausting. It's
Yeah.
so fun, but exhausting. A lot like
Hmm.
writing is like,
Yes.
so if you just don't have the mental energy, it can be a handful. I have the emotional energy back, which is good.
Good.
I don't have the
Yes.
mental, like it's taking energy for me to open my eyeballs right now, like keep them
Hmm.
open. Um,
You're doing
but we're
great.
better. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see other updates. My child is still huge. We hung out with my precious little nieces this weekend, and one of them is 3. And she was like, I want to hold Riley.
Oh
And she
no.
tells everyone, Riley a dragon slayer, him a dragon slayer. And she's in the stage where she says him instead of he. And it's like
Uh,
just the cutest thing in the whole world.
uh,
Like,
getting her direct objects and subjects mixed up.
yeah, it's so cute. I love it. Like, and this is totally not what I was gonna say, but I'm gonna say it because I think about how cute it is all the time. And I might have already said it, but I was like FaceTiming with my sister and Grayson, the 3-year-old. She was there, like I guess listening or talking, and
Mhm.
then Dom, my brother-in-law, like shouts something like sarcastic or something from the
As he
other
does.
room, as one does, especially
Mm.
he does.
Yeah.
And Maddie was like, oh my gosh, Dom. And then Grayson goes, him get a consequence. And it
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
so funny, except that the way she says consequence is very straight. It's like Cosequo or something. It's like Coseco. She's like, him get a Coseco? And I was like,
You're like,
what?
what language is that?
And then, but no, she was like, no, she was asking if he's gonna get a consequence. I was like, my God. Just so much about that
Oh,
cracks me up. Anyway,
kids.
that was not where I was going with that. Grayson wanted to hold Riley, him a dragon slayer. And I
Mm.
was like, okay, well, I have this little like waist belt that's got a little like baby seat sort of thing on it.
Huh.
And it's
Mhm.
amazing. And it like you just unzip the baby carrier part that like keeps them strapped to you when they get a little bigger, and you can just kind of like prop them on your hip. But it
Right.
takes a lot less strength, so you can like do more things and carry them around without them sliding off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I like she really wanted to wear it because she'd seen me wearing it. And so
Hmm.
I put it on her even though it's too big, and I kind of helped Riley sit on it with her. And he is like almost fully her height. She's
Yeah.
3 years old. My son, for reference, is 10 and a half months
I was
old
gonna say
right
he's not
now.
even a year. He's not
He's
even half her
not.
age.
No, I was like, he's
Yeah.
not even 11 months. I was like, almost, no, he's still like 2 more weeks. Like, he is 10 and a half months old, and he is like maybe a few inches shorter
Oh my
than
gosh.
Grayson.
That's
Like,
crazy.
fully stretched out. But he looks little because he's quite skinny.
Oh.
So like if you see him like all like sitting down and curled up, you're like, what a cute little baby. And then when you like help him stand up, it just like never ends. Or you
Just
pick
a
him up
toddler
and
size.
the legs just never stop.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's so
my
cute.
sweet long baby. Yeah, so that was pretty cute. Um, I don't I don't think I have anything else exciting. Our house continues to fall apart. Did I tell you there's a hole through my bathroom floor?
No, I don't
Like
think so.
straight through to the underside, like to the underside of
Like
the
someone
house.
stepped down too hard and then they fell to the
Yes, that's
next level of
exactly
the
what
earth.
happened. That's exactly what happened. So we put a piece of like plywood over the hole. It's not even nailed down, but that's how it's been for like a month. And
Nice.
sometimes scorpions and spiders come in, but they already
Yeah,
kind of do that anyway, so it's not that much different.
sure.
So we're really, 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 really really, really, really hoping that the contractors send us the contract for us to sign for them to start building.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little scared that they've ghosted us
Oh no.
because it's been like 3 weeks and we
Jeez,
were
I
doing
just don't know
so
what's
good.
normal.
I
I
don't
can't tell
either.
you if that's normal or not.
I don't know either. I thought we had like,
Yeah.
because we'd been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then I was like, okay, this looks great. Let me show this proposal to like, because one of our friends is a contractor. And I was like, just want to make sure, like, does this, it was a very detailed proposal. And he was like, yeah,
Mhm.
this all looks really good. I like how detailed it is. Looks totally reasonable. And I was like, awesome, let's do it. And then they never replied. And so
Oh
every
no.
like 3 days, I'm like, hi there. Not sure if you're
Please
getting
get
my
back to
emails.
me. I'm still
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah, so that's contributing to some of the anxiety. I'm like, I'm doing
Yeah.
better. I'm not living in an anxiety attack, which I really felt like I was for like a good month, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
Now I just have moments where all of a sudden my heart is like, you're panicked. And I'm like, what? And then it's like, never mind, everything's
Why?
okay. And it's like just like 10
False
seconds of
alarm.
like, it's like so weird. I don't know what's happening to me.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I am so tired. And my face has suddenly, in like 48 hours, like just like filled up with like, I guess, water weight because it's like 24 hours. I don't know if you can tell. My face is like round and like I've got this little double chin, which
You
is
look kind
always
of like you're
happens
glowing.
on
So I
my
don't know if that's
faces.
water
Oh, thank
or a
you.
filter or something. You look nice.
Thank
Don't
you.
look,
Thank you.
waterlogged.
Oh, that's good. I feel waterlogged. It's because I can like see like my chin
Right. You're
against
like,
my
this isn't how I
cheeks.
normally look.
I feel like I can't usually there's not that crease
Yeah.
there. And so I'm just like, and I'm sure no one can tell, but it's my face, so I'm aware of it. And I'm
Right.
like,
You're always looking
what
at it.
happened to my face? I'm just so sleepy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's been good. I'm trying to think if there's anything remotely interesting. We had to kill a snake again, which was sad. This was a really, really pretty snake. He was red and black. Red and black, friend of Jack. Black and yellow kills a fellow.
Oh boy.
That's
There's
how you
one
remember
I
which
haven't heard in
ones
a
aren't.
while.
Oh yeah, that's how you tell which ones don't kill you. And it was this big, pretty one, and he was so sleepy too because he had eaten a whole one of my chicken's eggs, and you could see the egg in his tummy. I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
you
Snakes creep me
bastard.
out. That's so you're not supposed to be able to see what you've eaten. Ah.
Yeah, you could definitely see it. And he was just all curled up there. And I was like, this makes me so sad that we have to kill you. But also, I'm not buying organic chicken food just to feed a snake my eggs. So
Sure.
he had to be disposed of. And it was
Kill
sad. He
it.
was pretty. And Javi felt like really weirdly guilty about it for like a while. He was like, he was just being a snake, man. It's not like he did anything really wrong. And I was like, it's not a moral problem. We didn't dispose of him for moral or immoral reasons. He's not
Right.
like a morally corrupt snake. He's just a
Yeah.
snake. I was
You
like,
put him on death row. You gave him a fair trial and he was found guilty.
like no. It's like it's just practical. We can't
Yeah.
just let the snakes eat the chickens' eggs.
Right.
So
Oh my
just as we
gosh.
can't let them eat the chickens. Yeah. And it's been incredibly hot, and I am ready for fall. Oh, and here's my last update. I'm playing with resin. Javi and I have decided we're
Oh,
going to like do like resin crafts, like the
like you put
epoxy
stuff
stuff.
inside stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah, so we've been like testing out different little things. Right now we're just purely in the like experimentation phase of is this something we want to continue or not?
Sure.
And how much do we time and money do we want to devote to this hobby slash business idea? Because I always have one. But this
Yeah.
hobby also had this one too, though. So, uh,
Cool.
and this is the part that made me think that you and perhaps our listeners would enjoy it. Caleb and CJ were here. So, my brother and almost brother-in-law were here, and CJ was like, he saw me making bookmarks from the resin because I'm testing different things with bookmarks because it's just an easy way to test it. And he was
Mhm.
like, you should make like dagger shaped bookmarks. And I was like, very smart. I should absolutely do that. Love it. And he goes, you could make them like themed. You could call them like what was it? Ah,
Oh
um,
no.
dang, it was so
Oh
clever.
me.
He said it would be each one would be like literary insults.
Oh
Um,
yes.
yeah, and it was called
That's
like
cool.
he was like you can call the collection like what was it like sharp words or something. I forget. It was
Yeah.
clever. I'll have to if I think of the actual thing that was clever, I'll say it later. But it was a very
Yes.
good idea, and I really enjoyed the idea.
Oh my
So I'm
gosh.
probably gonna
That
do
sounds
that.
cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dang it. What a bummer that I totally botched the delivery of this like little mini
I
story.
wonder if he remembers what he said because I could totally see him remembering and also that he wouldn't even remember he was there.
Yeah, I'd be like,
So,
what? What?
yeah.
When?
When did that happen? Are you sure it
Who?
was me?
Have
Yeah.
we met?
Yeah. Ash
Bless
who?
CJ. Oh,
Uh,
he kills me.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess I mean that's all I can remember. I'm sure there's been more because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But whoa, I keep disappearing from the screen.
Do your
Whew.
magic.
Sorry. And now you all got to hear me on. I will try to remember to cut that out. We could just go ahead and since that's all we've got, go on into book recommendations.
Yeah, I have nothing because I hit that downward spiral and I was doing nothing that I found fun. I will say though, because I forgot to mention this a while back, I finally watched the movie. I don't think I mentioned this at least. I watched The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel
Mm,
to The Hunger Games.
right.
And I don't know, prequels are kind of hit or miss for me, and so are book to movie adaptations. And I have not read the book, but I really liked the movie. Like when I first saw it, my friend Jordan wanted me to watch it. And so she invited me over and we watched it. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like it was very different from The Hunger Games because it's like President Snow's like backstory, right? His villain origin story, essentially.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't, it's just, it was in a different like format and it was just different. So I was like, I don't know if I like this, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. So like 2 weeks later, I'm like, do you want to come over and watch the movie again? And she's like, yes. So she
Nice.
came over and we watched it and I was like, okay, yes, I like it. And I really like the songs in it because they're like folksy and not the kind of thing I normally like, but I don't know. They're songs about like real topics instead of just like another breakup song or another song about, just what I don't know. I feel like the music industry is just all the same right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of refreshing that they're actually like cool songs about something unique. And I really like the movie. So I have not read the book. I'm tempted to read it. I'm tempted not to because what if I don't like the book? What if I read the book and then hate the movie? I don't
Uh-huh.
know. But now I'm also excited because she is writing another like prequel-ish story about Haymitch's time in the Hunger Games,
Hmm.
which if you don't remember, if you read the Hunger Games, that was the Quarter Quell, and that was when there were double the number of tributes. And he's like the only District 12 winner. So I am also super psyched for that. And it's already going to be a movie, even though the book isn't even out, which makes sense. But gosh,
Yeah.
what a place to be in your life, Suzanne.
Oh my God,
I'm so
right?
jealous.
Amazing.
I want that.
Ugh.
But I actually feel like this was one of the, again, I haven't read the book, but it's one of the better done book to movie adaptations, I think. I think it really
Mhm.
worked. So I don't know if that's a book recommendation or a movie recommendation, but there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have two book recommendations, so
Ooh.
I can do that for you guys.
Yeah.
Here's the first one is actually not one that we covered on That Pretentious Book Club, our sister podcast. The
A
other one
new
is
one.
the first one that I'm gonna book rec. I listened to an audiobook. It's called I Know You Remember by Jennifer Donaldson. And it was incredibly good. Like it was
Really?
incredibly good. And I
Is that a
just got
thriller?
it because yeah, it's a thriller, but
Okay.
it's like and they're like teenagers, so they're like a little younger than the thrillers that I had been reading. And it's just that it was a Chirp Audiobooks had it on sale for like $2. It was just like one of their little
Nice.
flash sales. And so I was like, oh,
Mhm.
all right, I'll get it. It looks like a thriller. And a lot of times the ones that go on sale are like very hit or miss. This was amazing. Like I would give it
Wow.
a very high rating. So I Know You Remember by Jennifer Donaldson. There are some twisty twists in there, and I did not see
What you
them
want.
coming. It was
Nice.
so good. And it felt so realistic, the voices in it, and it's so strong recommend, strong recommend. And then the other book that I will give a very soft rec for is Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz, which we did
Okay.
cover on That Pretentious Book Club.
Hmm.
We covered it with me and Dr. Spoons Palermo and Gino. So all three of the TPBC hosts were there just because
Nice.
Gino was in town. And
Yeah.
so I was like, Kendall, come over and we're all going to record. And she was like,
Yeah.
okay. And I was like, alcohol. And thank God for the alcohol because Four Dead Queens, excellent book title, book cover,
Mm.
engaging enough. The story and the world building, not even the story, the world building, just not what you would expect at all. And
Hmm.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I
Okay.
think
I
I
was like, I
gave
can't
it.
tell if you're this is a positive or negative.
No, I didn't like it. I think I
Hmm.
gave the book like 2.5 pinkies up or something, which is like
Okay.
the lowest rating, one of not the lowest, but one of the lowest ratings that I've given a book at TPBC because I generally enjoy books. Like I don't have like my quality standards aren't incredibly high.
Yeah.
But this one let me down. It really let me down. But I wasn't the only
Wow.
one. Like Kendall and Gino, they were both like, this damn book. They were like,
Like, what do we do with this?
we got some problems we got to discuss with this book. It was just weird because it's billed as a YA fantasy. It's definitely YA, but it honestly felt more like sci-fi. I'm like, where's the fantasy here? This is a science
Yeah.
fiction book. But it wasn't like pick a lane, you know? Like it
Sure.
was
Hmm.
just like the sprinkle, a little sprinkle of fantasy elements. And then it was all science fiction, but it was billed as a fantasy. And I mean, oh, the way that the kingdom was set up, the characters, it was just I would love to
Do you?
see you read it and tear it apart.
I know.
And or see
Well,
if I'm
I am good
completely
at that.
wrong. You are.
Well, okay, so I feel, is this a traditionally published book or an indie book?
Traditional.
You know? Okay,
Traditionally
I feel
published.
like that's what I would assume because I feel like traditional publishing is not doing great with accurate marketing lately.
Mm-mm.
Like I feel like their advertising I think it started with A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I'm not trying to bring everything back to that, but it's like they built it as a YA, clearly not a YA. You know what I
Clearly an
mean? And
NA.
then
Yeah.
I feel like they just lost their ability to understand genre. And so sometimes they'll advertise it, or even just the comp titles. They'll be like, Hunger Games combined with this. And you're like, there's literally no death game. How's this Hunger Games?
Yeah,
Or
literally.
it's like, a
Yeah.
fantasy. And it's like, this is really more of just like a medieval kind of story. Like, I don't think
Yes.
they have a set understanding
Literally,
of genre
the
right
only
now.
fantasy element was that there are queens. And I'm like,
Mm.
that's not even
That existed. That's not a
that's
fantasy thing.
not a fantasy thing. And that's what I'm saying. And then like one of the quadrants, which are what the
Mm,
like sort of what I would equate to like
that
the
makes sense.
realms are called.
Four.
But the
Yeah.
quadrants, yeah, exactly. Like one of them wears like corsets and hoop skirts. And I'm like, that's not fantasy though.
Right?
It's just a
Those
way that
things
people do
exist.
like I
Uh,
cannot for the life of me think of anything else in it.
yeah.
that was even fantasy adjacent. But I think that traditional publishing is afraid to market things as sci-fi because it's a much narrower audience because sci-fi had been so hokey for so long that people got
Right.
like, I'm gonna steer clear of sci-fi, even though
Hmm.
there's some excellent sci-fi out there. But like aside from like the Illuminae files, I'm having a hard time thinking of a pure sci-fi that's done really well.
Hmm.
And even that
Um,
didn't do like, oh, everyone knows what it is. Well,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I do think sometimes the problem with traditional is that they don't want to take risks. And it's
Yeah.
like, but risk is how you get the best sellers and the good stuff because
Yeah.
it's new enough that people are drawn to it and
Mm-hmm.
like a wide variety of people are going to feel like it's unique.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I do think I've been noticing that for probably like 5-ish years that like
Yeah.
I'll read it. I've also almost learned to read between the lines
Yeah.
where if it says fantasy, but then there are certain other keywords, I'm like, I don't think this is a fantasy.
It's not a
Or
fantasy.
they won't
Yeah.
say fantasy and I'll be like, I think this might be, so I'm gonna
It
give it a
might be.
try.
It's true. Well, I noticed it probably not 5 years ago because I'm not as like with it as you are, but I definitely started noticing like at least a couple years ago because that's why over at TPBC I started adding, we have a segment over there called First Impressions now. And the
Oh,
entire reason that I added First Impressions before we talk about the book is because I was like, you would just never suspect. Some of these books, you see the cover and you read the jacket, and then what you actually read is not at
it's
all
totally
what you
different.
expected.
Yeah.
Like, or
It's
how
just
that's described. You read the blurbs and you're like, oh, it's going to be, and then you're like, not even remotely
not
close.
at all.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think it's because certain things are so in that traditional wants to be like, hey, we're in this, niche. Like we have this thing too. But like you don't, and you don't need to. Like it's okay. Like I remember the best example I have is Fable by Adrienne Young. And I guess it depends on your definition of feminism, but it was like advertised as this feminist story. And I'm just like, things advertised as feminist are not usually my thing, but I like Adrienne Young, so I read the book and I'm like, this
Hmm.
is not what you would assume if someone said it's a feminist fantasy. Like it's just not the association you
Yeah.
usually have to that. So it's just I'm like, why would you advertise it that way when that's not the point? Like that's not really
Yeah.
a theme even. It's just like the main character is a girl. That's not inherently feminist necessarily. I guess it depends on your definition, but like not really noteworthy feminism at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Literally,
So,
literally, Javi and I watching this movie the other day. Oh, what was it? There was a character. Oh, I think it was called Freelance or
mm,
whatever, and it had the I forget what the actress's name is, but she plays like this journalist or whatever, and he kept being like, "Oh man, she's such a wimp." Like, whatever happened to strong female leads? He asked, and I was like, I honestly didn't know that you knew those words all put
yeah,
together, to be honest. But also, I was like, I mean, she's not.
right.
Like,
Like, what do you
it was
mean?
weird. It was funny. And then like what was it? We watched some other movie that had someone who was definitely not a strong female lead. And I was like,
Mhm.
"What about her?" And he's like, "No, she sucks." And I was like, "I don't understand though because she's like an- worse for sure."
Yeah.
So, it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That feminist thing it is very trendy.
Yeah. They want
Um
the keyword, but
yeah.
it's not the point. And you know what? It's okay. It doesn't need to be the point. There are good things out there that aren't easily summed up by keywords.
Yeah.
So why are we obsessed with the keywords? I understand it's helpful for marketing, but it's
Mm.
not the end all be all of how well a book
Yeah.
is going to do. So,
Yeah. And I'm curious about Four Dead Queens. There's so much I would like to know because Astrid Schultz might be a good writer. I'm inclined to not take Four Dead Queens as an accurate sampling of her work because she's
sure.
written some other pretty big stuff, which I can't recall
Mhm.
right now. But I remember like when we were going through her bio, I was like, this is big stuff that she's written. So
Mhm.
how did we get from that, which
So
must be
here.
a higher quality level? It just has to
Yeah.
be to this. Like this
Yep.
feels like maybe not like the first novel you've ever written, but like it feels like something you would write as a teenager. You know,
Mhm.
like it's not bad at all. It's got a bunch of great
Right.
elements, but it needs to be refined. The
Yeah. It's
quality
not
needs
quite there
to
yet.
increase. It's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And they were like, have this steaming dish of book with a really pretty cover. And
Mm.
it's a fantasy. It's a YA fantasy. And then
We
I took a bite
promise.
and I was tricked. I
Mhm.
was tricked and I hated it. So
Ugh.
anyways,
Well,
that's
yeah.
my not, I guess not a book rec, except that I do want you to read it because
I was
I
gonna
would
say, I'm
love
kind
to
of
see you
curious now.
eviscerate it. I think you need to bring back Catherine's Corner just
I know.
specifically for Four Dead Queens.
I should just make Catherine's Corner tearing books apart instead of books I liked too, because I kind of run out of things to say about books I like
You're like, it was great.
because
Moving on.
it's awesome. You should read it. I don't want to spoil it, but when I hate the book, I'm like, let me tell you why you should never pick this up in your life, so I can be more honest.
I like that
But
though. And I feel like with Four Dead Queens, there's a lot there to tease out. Like, what had value, what had potential here, and where did we just go completely off the rails? Because it really
mhm.
felt like that. And there were some elements that I was like, wait, is this Kaz Brecker? Like, they were
No.
almost like copy and pasted elements from
Mm.
other stories, which I'm sure she didn't do on purpose. But again, it kind of feels like when you're like young and you write something and there's like
You're
an
inspired by other
archetype that you
things.
like. Exactly. And
Hmm.
so you're like, I've made this, I use this archetype, but it's not unique enough. It still feels like an archetype based on another person. So
Right.
yeah. That was a really
Yeah.
long rant that I didn't mean to take up our time with.
Oh, that's okay. It's book related as
Yeah.
opposed to mine, which was mostly a movie. So,
Well, do we have a word of the week?
yes, word of the week is suspiration. 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 And it is a long, deep breath or a sigh. So it's kind of just a fancy word for that. But that's what I felt like at the end of last week. I felt like I finally had a suspiration. Just I assume suspirate is
Is
also
it
a word.
like a deep breath in or just out?
I think it's both, kind of like the in out thing. So like a sigh. Yeah.
I
Like,
like that. Because
yeah.
I hate saying like she took a deep breath or like
Right.
inhaled deeply. I'm like,
We do
ugh.
need another, like, there are certain phrases that are just so common in writing that you're like, is there another way to say this? Because I
Mhm.
hope so.
Like
So,
sigh.
suspirate. Mm-hmm. Like,
Suspirate.
sigh, breathed. So now you can use suspirate,
Suspirate.
at least
I
sometimes.
suspirated many a time when reading Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz.
There you
It
go.
was a very suspirate book. It induced much suspiration,
There you go. You used it both incorrectly there.
as I do.
Yes.
You're welcome, world.
You're welcome. Although now that you say that, I don't know if it's a positive or a negative sigh. I guess both. Sighs can be both. So I
Right?
would assume suspiration is
Well,
both.
my first
So,
thought was like a sigh
and
of relief.
relief.
And then I was
Yeah.
thinking the last time I sighed was probably not relief. It was probably exasperation. Like,
I was
here we
thinking the
go
opposite.
again.
Just like, ah, like I'm finally breathing. Finally, a suspiration. And you're just like,
That book sucked.
oh,
Oh
yeah.
man.
There's another
Well,
word for say.
suspirate. I like it. I'm gonna try and use it, continue using it correctly and incorrectly this whole episode and for the rest of my life. Do
Sounds
we want to
good.
get into today's theme?
Yes, we are going to talk about the difference and the benefits and the detriments between books that are really easy to write and books that are really hard to write. Because I feel like if you write multiple books in your lifetime, which is probably the goal if you're here, you're gonna hit on both of these sometimes. And they each carry their own like frustrations and downfalls and all of the things. So
It is so funny you texted me this and you're like, is this too niche? Are we gonna have enough to talk about? Like, and I was like, I've actually also been thinking about this exact same thing. So,
I feel like we're both in a place where the book we're writing is really hard.
it's really
And
hard.
yeah, and it's great like for
I'm really
me because
tired.
I know I was writing so much for so long that I forgot what it was like to struggle through it. And
Hmm.
I'm just now I'm like, oh my
Welcome
gosh,
to
am I
my
broken?
world.
Yeah.
I'm see, and I'm like, it's been so long since I've written something that came so easily. And I was
Hmm.
like, am I boxing myself in too much? Like, what's going on? Because I've
Right.
had like the urge, the fleeting urge lately to just like sit down and be like, whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna write whatever comes to me. And I haven't done it in a really long time like that because I've been like,
Hmm.
structure, a plan. I'm more likely to actually finish this if I start with a plan, which is probably true that I'm more likely
Hmm.
to finish it if I start with a plan. But it's so hard.
It
And it
is.
didn't used to be hard. It's not as hard to just sit down and go. So maybe, I
Hmm.
don't know, maybe I need to just sit down and go just to get myself, just to remind myself that I can't.
Yeah, well, I feel like part of the theme of this episode is like pivoting, like learning how to do both because you're probably
Yeah.
going to hit on both at various times in your life. So it's like if you get like me and everything's kind of easy for a while, you have to understand that's going to end eventually and that you need to know what to do when it does. Or like if you're Ash and things are really difficult, like it is eventually going to get easier. You just have to power
Yeah.
through the the difficult season, I
And I
guess.
have to believe there are phases because,
Mm-hmm.
like, I remember, like, well, basically as a kid, my imagination, because kids just are blessed, like,
Oh, I miss
never
it.
waned all the way through high school. It was just a constant stream
Yep.
of inspiration. Then college, I mean, there's probably like a break between like high school and college where, I mean, I went straight from one to the other. Probably like my last couple of years of high school, I was more focused on just trying to finish school and my
Sure.
chores and not melt down in life. But then in college, I had like a pretty decent stream of work,
Mm-hmm.
especially like the last year. Like
Mm-hmm.
in my senior year and and the year after that, I like did a bunch of writing that came really easily. And that was the last time that writing came really easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I think after college I hit sort of like a speed bump that lasted for a while and I didn't do anything. And then we started the podcast, which helped. And then
Yeah.
suddenly I was like, okay, every thought I've had for the past 10 years is coming out. And it was just flowing and it was great. But then, you will eventually hit a wall because I don't know, I guess I feel like I was just burned out. And it's weird to feel burned out from something that you love
Yeah,
and you
but
enjoy
it's
because you're
true.
like, I don't want to take a break, but maybe I need to, but I don't want to, but I think I have to. And it's just,
Honestly,
a thing.
children are the same way. I'm like, I want to go hang out with Riley. And I'm also like, I'm so tired. I
I'm so
can't go
tired.
hang out with Riley. And I'm like, I just want to snuggle with him. But then he's like, I don't
Mhm.
want to snuggle. I want to play. And I'm like, I don't have the energy for that. I don't want
Yeah.
that.
It's snuggle or nothing. I was actually thinking about this in comparison to children also. Like, how like neither of us can relate to this because Ash does have a child, but only one. Like, how parents will have like two kids and one of the kids is really easy. They're so well behaved. They're just like the
Yeah.
parent. And so they're like, this kid is so easy. And they have the other
Hmm.
kid that's always like throwing tantrums and is a problem and all that kind of stuff. And
And it's a problem.
they love both of them, but you kind of look at it and you're like, but how? Like, how can you love both of them the same? But you do because you love them differently. And I feel
Hmm.
like, okay, children are obviously more valuable than books, but just to make
Just
like the analogy, sometimes some of them, um, like sometimes books come really easy and you're like, this is the book of my heart and I love it. And it's just, a part of me. And then the book is so hard, but you keep going and you're like, why am I doing this to myself? But it's because you love it so much also. And so it's like the difference between like love at first sight or a labor of love. That's what I've been calling it in my head.
yeah.
So
Oh,
they
that's
both
so
they both
true.
happen. Yeah.
I'm writing that down because I was like, what's a good name for this episode? I was like,
I
it's
know.
painful to be a beautiful book. And then I was like, no, that's not quite right because
Not
like
quite it.
some books that come easily are also wonderful. It's not even that there's
Hmm.
like necessarily a quality difference,
Right.
but there are some ideas that just take more work. Like
Hmm.
I have, for example, the book that involves a cult that I've been writing takes a ton of research. And because it's
Sure.
a thriller and there have to be twists, it takes so much like planning and
Yeah.
plotting and preparation. And so but like I also have like there's like kind of like cult like documentaries and I have a book over here that's it's actually fiction. This one's fiction about a cult. But I've been doing like lots of research and stuff. And there's just so much that goes into it. And then there's like
Hmm.
my Cinderella book, which
Right.
I
You're
did
like, I
plan
know the story
out.
well.
But I know the story very well. And like I
Hmm.
am exhausted, but that's like purely just my physical exhaustion is what's kept me and mental exhaustion has kept me from writing. I'm not like, oh, this is a hard book. I think if I could just like get a little bit of mental energy and sit down, it would just come together
Yep.
because it's a Cinderella story.
Sure.
I mean,
The format is there. The
the
formula is there.
format is there. The formula exists.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I do think life circumstances though have a lot to do with it, which seems obvious, but I feel like I'm just realizing that you might
Yeah.
hit a hard book just because of life circumstance, but you might also hit, like you said, like cults are hard to research. You want to do it well. It takes like time and effort and everything.
Yeah.
And like the one I'm struggling with, I feel like it's very governmentally involved in a way that I don't normally write. So I'm like, okay, there are so many different kinds of governments, there are so many different opinions,
Hmm.
and how do I make sure that everyone's balanced, but they can still be on the same side or different sides or
Yeah.
whatever. And so I had to do a lot of like character planning and like just writing out statements of like, this is how he thinks, this is how she thinks, you know, like
Yeah.
about certain things in that area. And I had to go back and rewrite so many times because I was, you know, putting in plot threads that then went nowhere. And I'm like, I think
Yeah.
those could work. Or now I have to take them out because they're contradictory. And it's just like a slog. Like I think I have gone back and started from the beginning like 6 times now.
Yeah.
It's so hard. But
I
I
do
feel like it's
think
finally
that
getting there.
yeah, the theme definitely also has a lot to do with it because like some themes take more time to think through. Also, some
Mm-hmm.
themes take more research. Some themes you have to handle more delicately. Like I feel
Right.
like with the cult one, not only do I need to do some research, but the main reason I'm doing research, it's not because I couldn't write a good cult story right now, but because I want to be like really responsible with it as much as I can, and
Right.
I want it to be realistic. And it can also be incredibly delicate for people who have been involved in a high control group or
Sure.
have someone who's in a cult, like someone that they love. So I'm like, I don't want to be just like casual about it. So because
Mm-hmm.
it's a slightly more delicate, and you're talking about a book that's got more like government, you know,
Yeah.
adjacent themes, which is always more delicate because people
Mm-hmm.
are more sensitive about that.
Right.
And so it just takes more, it takes more labor. It's a labor of,
Mm-hmm.
it's exactly the way it's love at first sight versus a labor of love. Like,
Yeah.
did I love my little baby the second that he popped out? And I was like, look at this cute, ugly little purple potato. Like, of
Of
course.
course.
Of course I do. Although that was a lot of labor too, to be fair.
Fair.
But the labor of love, like the teaching him how to like crawl, which has been like physical therapy with him every day for like an hour to get because he's long, okay? His
Mm-hmm.
tummy, his little back arches so his tummy hits the ground because he's so long. So he just slides on his tummy like a little snake.
Aw.
He
Yeah.
he swims. He's
He
great in the
swims on
water. He
land.
just swims. He's just so long. He's having a hard time keeping everything between the shoulders and the hips up in the air.
Oh,
Anyways,
Riley.
but I love him and I love him
Yeah.
all the more, honestly, because I'm getting to make all these fun memories and learn so much about the physical dynamics of crawling.
Ah, fascinating stuff. I do think that's kind
Fascinating.
of one of the plus sides, though, of books that are difficult to write is like when you look back at it, you have so many more memories attached to it because it took so much, like such a chunk of your life
Mhm.
as opposed to something that was easier to write.
Yeah.
So you have like fonder memories. And then because you have put so much more work into it, I feel like you have the time or the, I don't know, emotional motivation to bond with it. And so it has a certain special place after the fact.
It
So
does. It does have a special place. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Um, let's see, what else? Um, I do think one of the like downfalls of books that are really easy is that sometimes, you know, because it's coming so easily. I wish I had another word on that's top of my head. But because it's, you know, just coming, just the ideas are flowing and stuff. I think sometimes it's easier to not notice plot holes and like general mistakes
So true.
because you're not giving yourself enough time to like really think through them and theorize. Like with the
Hmm.
book I'm working on now, I'm like, I'm really sure that things are making sense because I've worked so hard on it and I've read the same stuff over and over. But with some of the other books that I've written, it's like, does this make sense? Like I can't tell because it, you know, I know it, but did I not spend enough time to think it through deeply enough to
Hmm.
really get it where it needs to be? And
This is
so
what
I
Four
think,
Dead Queens felt like. I felt like
sure,
this
yeah.
was like a low effort book for her. Not in like, oh,
Hmm.
she didn't put any effort in, but it clearly just came easily to her.
Hmm.
And she didn't have no one did the due diligence on her team to
Right.
be like, this doesn't make sense. And also the way that it was built was a big part of the problem. But I
Hmm.
do feel like it had that energy, and that's the part that I enjoyed was the energy of like it felt
It's
like
happening
when you're
naturally.
like a teenager and the story's
Hmm.
just flowing naturally and it's so easy.
Hmm. Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there is that, you know, that dark side where it's like, but does it really make sense?
Yeah. You just have to have like a
Um,
more critical eye when you
mhm.
are editing. I feel like something that was more love at first sight, something that just came easily and you enjoyed it because you see it with rose-colored glasses because you experienced writing it so
Yeah,
easily. It was so
exactly.
rosy and lovey-dovey.
Yeah. You didn't have time to have downs with the ups, so you can't
Yeah.
see that it has flaws, but it still
Yeah.
does. So I
Yeah.
do think the editing process is probably longer on books like that, or at least should be.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of like, love at first sight in like romances. Like if you fall in love too fast, you should probably like ask the people around you if you're missing red flags,
Yes.
just in case.
So
But
true.
writing is like that too, or maybe you want to send it to more people or give it a little more time to rest before you edit it, or maybe think through, after the fact and say, okay, does this progression of ideas make sense? Are the scenes in the right order? Do the characters make sense? And just kind of, I don't know, do some kind of strategic thing to make sure that it's jiving logically as well as emotionally, because the
Yeah.
emotion might distract you.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Hmm.
absolutely true. And I think that the catch 22, or rather the other side of the coin, I guess, when you're like what to look out for when you're writing something that's more of a labor of love is more just that if you take all the fun out of it, which is not necessarily anything that you do, but it's more like if it's something, if you're not making the effort to like inject fun into the process, you
Right.
just get exhausted and bogged
Hmm.
down. It is a lot like a marriage in which like you have to plan date nights and fun things to do. Otherwise, you may find that for a period, for different periods of time, it's more like all of the work. Like you're just
Right.
like, we're both have jobs, we have chores to do, we have stuff about the kid to coordinate, like it's all of the work and like
Hmm.
the fun things, the things that made you like attracted to each other and like, oh yeah, I totally want a life together because we have such a good time,
Hmm.
and all those lovey-dovey feelings. Like the reason you had the lovey-dovey feelings is because you were doing the fun lovey-dovey stuff in a
Hmm.
marriage, right? Like you were spending time to
Right.
have fun together. So I think it's important with with those labors of love to find some way to have a little date with your book. Make it fun.
Yes.
Do something that reminds you of like why you love writing, to
Hmm.
keep yourself motivated, to remember that even though it's really hard right now, it's not always going to be this hard and it's going to be
Yeah,
so worth it. A lot
exactly.
like therapy.
I mean, writing books is kind of like therapy, so that makes sense.
It's incredibly like therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's true. I think and you want to make sure that if you're writing a difficult book, you're not just trying to get to the end and like get it over with, right? Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's something I was starting to do. I'm like, oh, I just want to be done with this. But
Yeah.
it's like if you're not having fun, at least a little bit while you're writing it, readers won't have fun reading it. They're going to sense that it's just about getting to the end and there's not a lot of like romance or adventure or whatever it is you're going for injected into the plot points. It's just plot point after plot point after plot point to get to the end.
Yeah.
So I do think you need like that mix of emotion and like structure
Hmm.
in writing a good book. And so easy books are going to be more fun and emotion rather than structure, and difficult books are going to be more structure than fun, but you have to make sure that you're focusing maybe on the one that's not coming as naturally
Yeah.
in that particular book
Yep.
so that they have both.
Yeah. I think that's definitely true. Now
Yeah.
I'm just like comparing books in my head, like the different types of books to like relationships. Like when you're having a good time in the early stages of dating and you're like, this is awesome, but you have to make yourself consciously look for the red flags and be like,
Hmm.
remember, we need to lay a good groundwork now, even
Yeah.
though it's like this is the boring part of dating or whatever. Like,
Hmm.
got to make sure we have like the right values in common. Got to talk through like, what's your 5-year plan? What's mine? Like, is
Right.
it compatible? Like, what we want out of life? And you're like, oh, whatever. This is the most boring part. And then also be like, people who know me, are there some red flags here? The things
Right.
that you just, blah. But you have to
Hmm.
do. It's important to do when
Hmm.
you're dating early. And also, when you have a book that you're just loving, you have to be like, I gotta make myself do the hard stuff and get people to edit it and also make sure that I go back through with plot holes and that if it was something that I just breezed past and I was like, oh, I'll go take care of that later. Never believe that you'll remember to take care of it later. Put
Yeah,
it in a
true.
list or something
Yeah, write it
because
down.
you'll be like, what was it? I know there was something, but you're having such a
Yeah.
good time. You don't remember. So
Hmm.
important, just as it's important to, after you've been married a while, like to keep the relationship fun, to remember to go back to the things that you did in your early relationship that made it feel so magical. Like
Hmm.
same, what the things that made you love writing the first time, like maybe they don't happen on their own naturally because of just life circumstances, but finding things and activities that you can inject into the process to make it feel not like a chore because it's
Right.
not a chore. No one's making you write. No one's
Hmm.
making you be in a relationship. Like these are things that can feel like a chore because they take work, but they're not a chore. They're something
Right.
that we enjoyed once and can continue to enjoy if
Yes.
you either insert the work that needs to be done to keep it going or insert the fun that keeps you
Yes.
going that makes you willing to do
Yeah.
the work.
Agree. Yes. Yeah. Man, books are like relationships.
Yeah.
What a metaphor. I guess it's a simile. Anyway, um, I was also gonna say I think um another ingredient of books that are easier to write. Like maybe you're out there and you're like a first time writer, you're just starting or experimenting with it. I wouldn't expect it to come easy right off the bat because I do think one of the ingredients for books coming easy is the experience with them. And
Mhm.
so if you kind of know what you're doing, if you have plotted something out before, if it's, through an outline or just you've written something else before, it gets easier as you go along. Like I wouldn't expect it to stay on that trajectory forever because other things come up. But you do kind of have to know what you're doing. You have to sort of have your style in place a little bit. You have to have that,
Yeah.
that inspiration is a little newer and it'll get more mature as you go along. But I think sometimes like the difficult books when they come around are sort of necessary because they remind you of all of those little things that but you've maybe forgotten them. Like they're
Mhm.
subconsciously in the back of your head, but you're not thinking about it. Like, okay, I need to establish this up front, or I need to have hints about this. I need to foreshadow. I need to build the character well. Because, for example, maybe you've written so many books that now you're making the love interest too obvious up front, and there's no
Yeah.
mystery or something because you're like, well, we all know it's going there, but you want readers to feel like they're not really sure if it's going there.
That's so
So
me. I'm like, listen,
yeah.
we all know where this is going.
Yeah. And you're like, I gotta inject some mystery into it. Um, but I think those difficult books can help you hone the skills you have once learned but have maybe forgotten. Because I feel like that's been happening for me, where a lot of the problems were showing up early on,
Mhm.
where that's why I had to go back and rewrite multiple times because I just wasn't laying a good foundation. And now I feel like if I were to write a book after this, like I'm going to eventually, but I don't know how soon, um, that I would be able to establish stuff easier up front without having to rewrite because now I've gone through that process.
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm trying to think of a metaphor, and the only thing coming to mind is math, which is not as fun as relationships. But like once you know that 4 plus 4 is 8, you can do multiplication, right? But
Yeah.
maybe sometimes you need to go back and just remember that 4 plus 4 equals 8, Like you
Yeah.
have to remind yourself.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to maybe go back and forth a little bit, even though the difficult books are obviously hard, but
Yeah.
it reminds you of those skills that maybe you just need to
Mhm.
remember. Because I don't know, you can get kind of cocky. I don't know about you. I can get kind of cocky where I'm like, okay,
No,
I've
I'm
written
the
so
most
many books,
humble
I can do
person.
this.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
I'm
My
sorry.
humility is off the charts.
Okay,
What?
so me, not Ash. But it's like, you write so much that you get to a point you're like, man, I'm so good at this. And then the difficult books come around and humble you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've forgotten how to use words. Like,
Like,
how does
oh,
one establish character? I don't
that's
know.
right. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, humility. Woo. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it just kind of reclarifies what you thought you knew. And so I think it's good. It's one of those learning experiences that is probably good for you, even though in the moment it's hard,
Mhm.
to kind
It
of
makes
accept that.
yeah. I think it
Yeah.
makes the invisible work visible again. Like
Yeah.
when you're first starting out, it's all pretty visible because you're just like figuring out that 4 plus 4 equals 8. And then
Right.
at some point, you're just like, do you just know that 4 plus 4 equals 8? You don't like do the addition. So you're like, okay, I've got the
Yeah.
number 8. If I'm gonna do 8 times whatever, like you don't do the first, like it's the whole show your work thing. You don't show your work. But
Right.
when you're telling a story, you have to take the reader along with you. You can't just
Hmm.
assume that they know we're starting with the number 8 here. They're going to be like, how did
Yeah.
we get here?
You
Why
do
the
four
number
plus four, and then
8?
you have to be like, why does 4 plus 4 equal 8? And then sometimes you have to go
Where
back
did the fours
farther.
come from? Like you have to
Exactly.
show your work, which is what I
Hmm.
hated in math, and is probably
Yeah.
why I have a problem with this in writing, is because I'm like, just catch up already, because I don't
Yeah.
like to go other people's speeds. But it is
Hmm.
important to show your work, make the
Hmm.
invisible visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Let's see. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I don't think so. I'm surprised I've come up with this many words with how like slowly my brain is moving.
Good. They were full sentences too.
That's impressive. Good for
Good job.
me.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think I have anything to work on.
Yeah, actually, screw humility. I'm awesome.
I'm fantastic. I've never messed up ever.
No.
No flaws here, everyone. Look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Look on.
Yeah. But yeah, just generally, if you're facing an easy book, good for you. I would soak up that streak as long as you have it. And if it's a difficult book, it's okay. It'll come back around. And it's a learning experience that is good for you, even if it's painful at the moment.
Oh, boy, is
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Oh, so
So,
painful.
yeah,
Anything
that's all I
else, or is
got.
that all you got? Sweet.
I think
All
that's all
right.
I got. Yep.
Well, how's your writing going? Slash, what are you gonna do to reignite your love life with your book?
I like that phrasing. I mean, basically, we've been talking about this whole time, so I don't know if I have anything new, but I have, I think since the last time I talked to you guys, I have gone back and rewritten the first 100 pages twice. I do feel like I'm in a good place now where I have established the real conflict. I don't want to give too much away, but you just kind of like do stupid stuff as you're writing, and then you realize, like, oh, of course, this is the clear answer. I had this whole subplot that was not going to be a big deal about about slavery, basically. And I was like going back, I'm like, how would that be a subplot? Like that's got to be a major thing. That can't just be this thing happening on the side. So once I pulled that forward, I was like, wow, this is so much better. So it's not like directly about slavery and not like American slavery, just like the concept in general.
Yeah.
Um, but once I brought it forward, I was like, okay, it's everything's starting to crystallize.
It's
So
all coming together.
it's yeah, so I'm excited about that now, and I feel like I've got the character development kind of down, at least for now. We'll see. I have sort of a busy week this week, which for me is like three things instead of zero. But I don't know how much time I'll get to write because I also think I haven't been sleeping well, so I need to try to sleep.
Mhm.
Um, and maybe that, well, because I think sometimes I work really well on sleep deprivation and then sometimes I really don't. So I think I just need
I
to be getting
really
rest and
don't.
stuff.
I
Yeah,
really don't anymore.
I
I
do.
probably at some point I did. I think all the time about how it used to be like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and I would just be sitting there, like knees up on a chair typing.
Mhm.
And I would be like not even tired, just like flying through word count. And oh my God, how? How? I
I
don't
can still do
understand.
that, but I think I've been doing it too much lately and I need to take not a break from the book because I do feel like I'm now on a little bit of a roll, but
But a break from
maybe
the sleep
writing only,
deprivation.
yeah, like maybe 5 pages a day instead of the 20 I was going for, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
yeah.
perhaps a little more reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think now that we've kind of talked about this a little bit, I feel more comfortable with the reality that this is just going to be a difficult book and it's going to be a labor of love and that's fine.
Hmm.
And then I can move on to hopefully what'll be an easier book after that. But I do really like this book and I think it's like I, I don't know. I think it's good. Like I think it's going to be good when it's done. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Hmm.
excited one day for
Yeah.
people to read it and everything. So it's not like, sometimes you just lose inspiration and that's
Yeah.
fine. Like you can halfway through a book and think, okay, I don't think this is going anywhere. I think maybe I just need to let this one go and that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's not where I am, which is why it's been so frustrating. So I'm like, this is definitely going to be good if I can just get through this rough patch.
Yep.
Um, so that's it's uh, to liken it to a romantic relationship. I don't want to break up. I just need a little bit of space and I'm coming back.
Love
So
that. That's so funny.
yeah,
That's so real.
yeah. But anyway, how is your writing love life?
It's it's there. It
Hmm.
exists. I need to pay a lot more attention to it. I
Yeah.
definitely feel like writing is like the boyfriend that I just don't have time for. Um, which is I mean, in a way it's true, but also I really have been better about making more time lately. I've been like, I'm good when I'm off the clock, I'm actually off the clock. Like, I'm not working late.
Good.
You don't have
Hmm.
my time if I'm not at work. Like if I'm not during working hours. Like I was
Right.
already pretty good about like I wouldn't work on the weekends, but I would work late. Like
Hmm.
even if it was just like an extra hour a day because there was so much work to do. But I'm kind of like I've accepted that I'm never going to catch up. There's way more on my plate than any one person could ever possibly do. So when it's my time, I'm clocking out.
Yeah.
I'm out. So I have had more time, which has been nice, but I've been using it to hang out with my family, which has also been nice.
Yep.
And I've been feeling this massive guilt about and indecision about which project do I work on? Do I work on the one that's easy, or do I work
Mhm.
on the one that I'm extra excited about but is really hard?
Yeah.
And not that I'm not excited about the easy one. I mean, I am. And also I should probably embrace the fall vibes because there's like a strong fall
Mm.
aesthetic with that one.
Yep.
Um, so it's maybe I just need to get myself back to doing that because I was thinking like because everyone's a lot more hard on themselves than they would ever be to anyone else. So I've been like,
Mhm.
well, if you're just weak if you pick the Cinderella one to work on, Ash, you're just
Oh, just
weak.
going for the easy option.
Just
How
going for the
dare you?
easy. But that's actually absurd because they're both like equally decent
Yeah.
ideas. So I should just do one. And as Gino and I were discussing when she was out here, it's a lot of this is like about setting like reasonable goals. Like, 'cause
Mhm.
she and I tend to be like similar in some ways where she's like, I'm gonna learn 10 languages. And she's like,
Right.
so I could work a little bit on all of the languages at once and never be fluent in any language. Or I could just focus for like 6 months on one language. And
Right.
then in 6 months, I'll be fluent in this language. And then I can continue keeping up with that and work on learning another. And every time I learn a new language, it should be easier versus I could for the rest of my life be trying to learn 10 languages and never be fluent in any of them.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to like see things like that and be like,
Yeah.
okay, like maybe it's not like everything that I want to do right away, but it's something. And
Yeah.
that like something now is better than nothing ever because I just am indecisive and I only want to do everything if I can do everything all at once.
Right.
So that's where I'm at, which
Mhm.
is probably a good place to be. Um, and I am excited and I'm past my living in anxiety. So now I just get the random
It's
little
helpful.
and then I'm like, oh, never mind, everything's okay. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I do feel like I at least have more of the emotional energy to write. Now I
Right.
need I have the time ish for the first time ever. I can make the time basically. I actually have the ability to make the time. And I have
Mhm.
the emotional energy, which has been gone for a minute. Now I just need the mental energy. But I'm so
Mhm.
tired. I slept with a headache, like had a headache while I was asleep,
Oh.
and then woke up and still had the headache,
Ah.
which is just like,
Usually sleep is a reset. You
I
wake up headache
know.
free.
Exactly. Or at least you don't have the headache while you're sleeping, but literally all night I would be like in my dreams, oh my God, my head hurts. And then I'd wake up and be
Uh,
like, oh, my head hurts. And then I'd go back to sleep and my head would keep hurting in my dream. And I'd wake up and it would still be hurting. And I was like, I'm not imagining it. My head hurts. And there was no reason for
oh,
it.
yeah.
So at least my head doesn't hurt right now. Um, which is just a very scattered way of saying I'm looking forward to writing
Yeah.
and glad that I'm in a place where I can actually do a little bit of that. Uh, I also always feel a lot more creative in the fall, and we're almost there. We're almost there.
I know.
So,
That's what I was gonna say. Additional point on the easy versus difficult books. One of the downsides of difficult books is that if you're writing in a particular season and it takes too long, you get out of that season, like in real
yes.
life. And then you're like, but how do I get the fall vibes back? Because the book I'm writing now takes place in summer and it does
Mm,
eventually get into winter. So I'm actually like kind of on the right track. But I'm like, if I take too long in these summer months, I'm going to
yes.
be writing about summer in the winter and I don't know how to do that.
Oh my gosh, I so feel that. That is the
Yeah.
thing is my Cinderella book, which is probably why I stopped writing it because I
Hmm.
stopped writing it sometime like I think like midwinter because
Hmm.
it takes place in the fall.
Right. Like, I
I
can't
was
write this
getting
in another
mad.
season. What is this? This is not
Incorrect.
anarchy.
I don't, yeah, I didn't like it. Anyways,
Yeah.
so that's good too. So maybe
Hmm.
that kind of solves it. I'm just gonna go easy on myself, do my love at
Hmm.
first sight book because finishing a book is better than continually working little by little on multiple books and never finishing any of them. And also I
Yes.
get to like truly embrace the aesthetic of fall that I
Hmm.
love so, so much.
Enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, this is something I
Hmm.
was also thinking about with the Olympics is I think one day I'm just going to write a book. that takes place during the Olympics because I know so much about it. But like I
Yeah.
would have to plan to write it during 2 weeks out of a year, which I am capable of, but
Yeah.
I never plan in advance enough. And so then I'm trying to do it while the Olympics are on, then I don't have enough time. So
Yeah.
the vibe of the, season around you does sometimes impact it. And so maybe you
Yeah.
just have to push the difficult book until the season comes around, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. And hey, also that's another thing that I remember loving when I first started writing was like, at least for me, there's my way I'm gonna reignite the spark with my book is I'm a very seasonal person. I love this changing seasons. Fall is my favorite of the seasons. And
Hmm.
I used to like just fully embrace, like I would only write whatever season I was in, but like
Right.
all of my favorite things about it. And that was something that I just really enjoy doing. And I've stopped because I've just been like, I've got to finish the book instead of being like, I'm
Right.
just gonna enjoy
Yeah.
life
Let
and
yourself
what I love
soak
about writing. I'm soak it
in the
all in.
fall or the
Yeah.
winter or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah. The
Yes.
fall. Because it's superior to the other seasons. So
And I know I'm insane, but I really like the summer. So everyone's
you
always
are
like
insane.
fall, and I'm like, okay, but I love July and August.
That
So
is, and you live in Arizona. Like
I
you have
know it's so
literally
hot.
no excuse.
I know. It's crazy. Like if I lived in, like Montana, it might make sense. But I
Yeah.
like the heat. I like the general vibe of summer. So,
I think when I was a little kid, I did because I wanted to go to the beach and I like to swim. And I still like those things, but I don't have the time to do them as much, nor the opportunity. So I
mhm.
don't like summer anymore.
You know what it is? It's the summer is the monsoons, and I
Oh, that
love the
is
rain.
nice.
So
Yeah.
that's probably why I love summer, especially I said July and August, and I thought to myself, why did I not include June? Because it's monsoons. So they don't really happen in June.
Oh,
But
that's funny.
that's why. So I
All
like
right.
the rain. So if
Well,
I lived somewhere where it rained in fall, I might like fall. Who knows?
hmm. Well,
Not that I
just
dislike fall.
embrace your monsoon season. I'm going to
Yeah.
embrace the end of your monsoon season, and I'm
Yeah.
embracing the beginning of the best season of all. And did you like my like triple chin as I
Yes.
said it? Yeah, it
You're
was
so
good.
passionate.
I'm so passionate. Anyways,
Uh,
that's all I've got to share. I was long and rambling. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
nope.
All right.
All for me.
All right. Well, thank you guys for sticking with us and coming back as we have been gone for a while, kind of unannounced. And I am sorry that I rambled so much. I would again like to say I'm incredibly exhausted. So I'm kind of impressed that I've gotten this many words out of my mouth in a row that make a small modicum of sense. So you're welcome. And I'm sorry. And you're welcome. But hopefully you guys are writing away or not and just taking the breather that you need, taking the space, before you dive back into that relationship with your book. And we want to
Exactly.
hear all about it. We are your book relationship counselors, therapists, coaches, if you will, or
Gurus.
just yeah, or just, the girlfriends where you sit with a margarita and you complain about him, even though you do love him, that kind of thing. That's us
Hmm.
too. If you guys want to do that in a sort of book club form, you can do that on Discord. The link to our writing group is in the description below, but you can also message us on social media and email us at contact@storysirensstudio.com. That's our production company. If you message us on social media, we're the Scripturient Society on Instagram and TikTok. And that's largely the way that people reach out, and we love to hear what you guys are working on. So whether it's about a book that you read, or because you love Four Dead Queens and you're going to boycott us now because I didn't like it, or you just want to tell us what you're working on, or tell us what you hate that you are still working on, we want to hear it. We want to chat with you, and I think that's everything that we've got. Please leave us a rating and tell other people about the pod because that is how we grow and that is how we grow the writing group and encourage each other to tell all of our stories. And that's everything. So until next week, keep writing.
And we'll see you on the next page.